Hey there guys, PrinceLaharlkun here, and welcome back to Let's Play Golden Sun. In the last episode we came into Vault and did all of the vaulty things here, and in this episode we're going to be continuing on our journey to wherever it is we're going, honestly. We haven't really found that out yet, have we? I'm in the inn right now because I forgot that there is a neat little item here in this wooden box, which is a mint. Mints are going to be particularly useful because they boost agility, and that's going to be really useful for Eric, because Eric is your slowest character, and agility is really useful because I don't actually know if enemies can like intercept you in terms of agility and go in the middle of your attack. Like I think it just goes you and then them. But anyway, I just like to give it to Eric just because. So yeah, and I think also the well, I don't think I know that the mayor needed us to see him to go get something. So let's talk to him. Oh yeah, no problem. And he gives us some water of life. Are we heading out to Goma range? I guess so. I don't have anywhere else to go. Look for a cave in the mountain of the Goma range. Yeah, okay, Bilibin. That sounds like a good Bilibin, I guess, is a good place to go as any. And that's where we'll be heading next. So, I do want to talk to you real quick about a certain item type in this game, and that is called artifacts. Artifacts are super handy, and they're going to be one of the primary item uses, one of the primary item types in the game, and that's ultimately where weapons are going to come from. But artifacts can be anything that has a special effect, such as weapons that have, you know, like, a weapon that'll, well, I'll show you when we get actual weapons, but anyway, Water of Life technically counts as an artifact, and as you can see here, it sells for a lot of money. Now here's the interesting thing. If you were to sell this Water of Life in pretty much any other RPG, you'd be like, well, yeah, if I sell this, then I'm never going to get the chance to use it, and it revives downed characters, so, you know, it seems pretty useful, but we're going to sell it. Now we've got 2,500 gold, or coins. Now, interestingly, if we go into the Artifacts menu, she will be selling that Water of Life. See, the thing is that Water of Life's lives in this game are limited. So as such, it's impossible to get completely rid of them, barring just completely discarding them, and even then I think they might show up here again, but I haven't tested that and I don't want to. So you can always buy this back. Now I sold this because honestly, Water of Life isn't going to be the most useful item, and honestly we're not going to need them for a very long time, at least for the way I play this game. And you know, you get like 2,500 gold, like we won't even need to grind anymore for that. So now with that out of the way, we can continue onward, and we're going to head east and go to Bilibin. It should be right about across that bridge right there. Well, maybe after we fight the zombie. Come on now. Oh yeah, I forgot to equip the, I almost forgot to do this, holy cow. Kinda sloppy today. I almost forgot to equip the bandit sword, which, ooh, okay, so it does have an example of this. Okay, so the bandit sword is not as good as the longsword, but as you see at the bottom it says Light Blade unleashes rapid smash. Actually, I'm gonna hold on to that real quick. That's an example of a weapon that counts as an artifact. I call them artifact weapons. I don't know if they have an official term, but that's what I call them. When you attack in battle, there's a percentage chance that instead of doing a regular attack, you'll do a skill attack, as I call them. They're called unleashes. And every weapon that's an artifact has that specialty to it. And that's the reason that I said buying weapons isn't the most important thing, because honestly, artifact weapons are gonna almost always be better, because even though that one had less attack, that special effect it has will do like bonus extra damage, meaning that every time you attack, there's a pretty good chance you'll do a lot more damage than a regular strike. Let's move this, or not. That's annoying. Yeah, that's kind of a problem. And oh, hey, look, it's Roy. Roy, what are you doing here? Thought you were going after Lunpa, or after Hammond and Lunpa. Yeah. I don't know. We tried something. It didn't work. Oh. And then Roy shoots a miniature tornado at it. Because I guess miniature tornadoes can take out Ivy? Good to know. You certainly did. But, you still haven't explained why you're here. Oh, thank you, Eric. No, no surprise there. We couldn't either. Oh. So does that mean... Right. A little creepy, but yeah. You still should have just asked. Yes! Awesome, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Please do. And now Roy joined our party for real this time. Indeed. See if we can find anything there. Because honestly, we're just kind of wandering aimlessly, now that I think about it. So anyway, now that we've done that, we can move this stump thing here. Land in the water. As far as I know, I don't think there's anything you can get down there, but my curiosity is making me want to check. So, why not? Okay, so it turns out there wasn't actually anything down there, and I'm just crazy. But yeah, it totally looks like there's something behind that waterfall, because, you know, video game exploration 101. Anyway, so now that we've got Roy on our team, we originally had him use Mind Read, but he can also use Whirlwind, which, this is an example of an attack that can be used in and out of battle, besides, you know, Cure. And what I mean by that is we can map it to L, and then use it. And it'll come in handy for getting rid of little ivies and stuff like this that's in the way, which is nice because we probably couldn't have gotten any further without that. And now we're in Goma Cave, so there's going to be some new enemies that'll appear here. And there's also something we're going to want here, actually. So, while I'm doing this cave, there is something I did want to talk about. Oh, and it's worth noting that ghosts are weak to Jupiter. Ghosts are weak to Jupiter, and I believe skeletons are weak to Venus. I want to say that's right. Roy cast Ray. I don't know, I find that kind of entertaining. Yeah, skeletons are weak to Venus. And this is also a great place to get experience, so if you're a bit under-leveled, or if you feel like leveling up here, this is a great place too, because your experience your experience requirements are they're not terribly crazy, and you might also want to get Roy you might want to get Roy at least like level 6-ish. I generally like to get my party to level 6 or 7 in here, so I'll probably do that off screen. But anyway, there's something I wanted to converse about, and that's kind of the state of my channel. Like, not, you know, I'm not gonna go on a hiatus or anything. It's just something I've noticed, and I also need to do something else after this. Actually, you know what? I'll hold out on that thought for just a second, because there's something I want to bring up after I kill this Willhead. So it's worth noting that Roy has the Shaman's Rod, which is just a regular plain old staff that was just better than the wooden stick he had before. Now, Roy can equip rods, but he can also equip light blades. He can equip small swords as well. So honestly, I'm going to give the bandit sword to him and have him equip it, and so now he's going to be just a little bit more useful. And honestly, having that extra chance of showing it off an unleash is going to be really nice. Rapid Smash will hit, I believe it's 1 to 3 times, and the more times it hits, the more damage it does. You'll see it in action, hopefully, this video. I hope. Anyway, actual thing I wanted to get on topic with. I have been thinking about things, and I want to issue a bit of a challenge to you as the viewer. Yes, that's you, right now. If you're watching this, and I don't care if you're watching this when this video comes out, or if it's 2 years in the future, or whatever, but I want you to leave a comment. What do you want to comment on? Well, I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. That's up to... Oh, hey, look, an unleash. Yeah, it only hit once, so it did crap damage. The more times it hits, the more damage it does. But, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, some of the best parts of doing videos on YouTube, just in general, have been comments. Now, you know, usually I'm the kind of guy who's like, well, you know, comments are evil and bad and blah blah blah. But you know what? They're also some of the best parts of YouTube, in my opinion. Because when you actually get those people who leave, like, those really good comments, and, you know, you realize that they enjoy the content that you're making, it makes you as a creator feel a whole lot better, and it gives me something to really talk to you guys about. And I'm really, really glad for, you know, the 217 current subscribers that I have at this time of recording. Like, you guys are amazing for just checking out my channel and honestly just watching my content. But I've been trying to figure out ways in which I can honestly make my channel grow, because, I mean, it's not that I'm not trying to sound ungrateful for the comments and, you know, the views and such that I get, because honestly, I didn't expect to get nearly this much when I first started, and I legitimately mean that too. But I've been trying to think of ways in which, you know, maybe I could honestly grow as a channel, because, you know, that's the important thing. And by grow, I don't necessarily mean more views or whatever, but I would like to have, like, you know, a tiny knit community of people who like to comment on my videos and who like to watch my content. Because with that, you get this little thing of growth. Because really, how do you know, whether or not you're doing something right if no one will tell you what you're doing right? And I hope this doesn't come across as me sounding like I'm trying to fish for views or comments or whatever, because I'm not. But I would really like to encourage those of you who might watch this stuff, who don't normally comment, just to leave, just a simple comment. It doesn't have to be like a huge paragraph or whatever. Like, if you feel that there's something I can do to improve on my quality, then, just leave a comment saying what you think I can do better. Because honestly, I'm all for constructive criticism, and note that I did say constructive, not anything else. So real quick, or not, maybe not, because we're gonna... Actually, I don't want to do that yet. I want to save his synergy right now. We're gonna use Fire, and you're gonna use Ray. Because one of the interesting things of being a YouTuber that I've learned is that it's hard to figure out how you should go about... Oh hey, Roy's level 5. Growing as a channel. Because here's the thing, if I'm gonna post content more often, then I need to figure out what I should be doing that's, good and what isn't, and whether or not people like my content, and if there's anything I can do to change it, then, I will strongly take it into consideration. Anyway, now that I've gotten through that, I'll continue this in a minute. This is a Jin, of course, but here's the thing. If we talk to this Jin, I didn't talk to that guy down there, but he'll basically tell you that Jin kind of fought him. Here's the thing. This Jin's gonna attack us. So, this happens in pretty much every single dungeon. You won't get attacked in, like, towns or whatever, so I'm gonna go ahead and save over this file, because here's the thing. When Jin get low on HP, they do this really irritating thing called running away. So here we've got our first Mars Jin. Oh wow, I don't have it yet. Oh, on my practice run. Yeah, I did a little bit of practice run, I'm sorry. I know you guys said, one of you said that they were lame. I had a different move than this, so I'm just gonna have to go all out on this. Obviously, since it's a Margin, you don't want to cast, you don't want to cast, Mars elements on it. Now, it's worth noting that this, Margin are weak to Mercury, but we don't have any sort of Mercury attacks yet. Unfortunately, Zach can't do anything, so they'll have to manually... Actually, wait, no, I lied. What am I thinking? I've got Flint. Jeez. I wonder if we might get this. I don't know. Yes! Okay, good. Margin won't, like, die or anything. They'll just say, you felled them, and they usually give a lot of experience and coins. We got Forge. Sorry, that's my favorite animation for getting a Jin. Yeah, well, we'll do that. Thanks, dude. Alright, so now we've got Forge. Forge will boost the party's attack, which is a really handy thing to have, because buffs in this game are actually pretty useful. So it's worth noting, if you give this to Roy, he will become a Pilgrim. And this will actually increase his attack by quite a bit. Not enough to make him useful as an attacker. And he'll get Slash, and he learns basically different, he learns a new style of, Jupiter synergy, if I recall correctly. And if you give this to Zack, he'll become a Brute. Brutes obviously excel in strength, and it's essentially the equivalent of what happens if you were to give this to Eric. Some characters can become similar classes, and you'll notice that as well. Like, there are very similar classes you can do. And I think this is ultimately why a lot of people don't like to do don't really like to explore with the class system as much is because a lot of the synergy you do get from alternate classes isn't the most useful thing in the world. There will be a really great example of that coming up here pretty quickly. But yeah, just if you guys have anything you want to bring up with my previous conversation, with the conversation I brought up just a second ago, be sure to let me know, because I would be really interested in what you guys think, like how a channel should go about trying to, you know, increase its audience, or how I can improve, just anything. There we go! See, the Rapid Smash did 2 attacks that time and it did more damage. Yeah, primarily, Roy's not going to be doing a lot of attacking, but I generally don't like to waste synergy, because as you can see, I'm already low on synergy with Zack, because early game, your synergy goes down pretty quick. Because they give you level 2 synergy pretty easily. I mean, now that we're done with that, we've arrived here, and we can go into this world, into this area here, and it's really sad music, and hey look, there's a tree. But it almost looks like a man? Huh, well what if we... Oh yeah, because I changed his class, it got rid of the shortcut set for L for Whirlwind. What if we read his mind? Well, that's kind of eerie. This tree just... Okay. Well, we'll talk to the locals later, because there's a thing we want to get in here. It's actually right down here. Oh look, a Jin! And it's McCoy's Hidden Warehouse. Do not enter. Well, about that. So as you can see here, there's a Jin over there, and there's this annoying statue in the way. So you're thinking, okay, I'll just move it. Well, one, apparently I didn't get the right angle. But while you can move it down, you have no way of getting around it. So you're like, okay, well, what should you do? Well, actually, if you go up these stairs right over here, and head this way, and go right across here, and eventually, you'll end up in a place where you can whirlwind. And I'm sure you can see where this is going by now. I'm just playing it up, because that's what I do. You can actually approach the statue from the side, and push it out of the way, and you get a Mercury Gen. That is not a Mercury Gen, that is a Jupiter Gen. I am dumb sometimes. Often. Yeah, we got Gust. Gust is an attack Gen, and it will also increase his stats by quite a bit. It doesn't give him more synergy points, sadly, but it does up his HP. And trust me, you want HP on Roy. He will die quite often. If you give Jupiter to Eric, he will turn into a page, which will give him the move Delude. This is what I was talking about right here. Wow, Zack has no more PP anymore. That sounded weird. This is the first instance of attacks that are cast as debuffs. The problem with the Page class is that the Page class at this current point in the game only will learn debuffs. He also has 1 luck. Wow, I didn't notice that. He does not have a lot of really useful moves right now, and that's kind of the thing about it. So honestly, that's the biggest reason I feel like a lot of people don't do other classes. But if you give this to Zack, he'll become an apprentice, and I could have just checked it there, but whatever. And it's the exact same thing as, you know, if Eric were to become a page. So you notice, if you notice, you'll see a little bit of a trend with what Gen apply what type of attacks, and that's part of what makes this game's Gen system so cool. Now, here's the interesting thing, is that obviously if you set all of your Gen to standby, like if I were to give Forge to him, if I set this to standby, it changes him back to his default Squire class. So if all of your Gen are set to standby on a character, or if they're in recovery, then they will always go back to their very default starter class. Now as we start to get more Gen of the same type, you'll start to notice that your class will actually change, even though you have the same type of Gen. So even your class will change, even if you have the same type of Gen. Like if Zack were to have 4 Venus Gen, he would have an advanced version of Squire. And that'll actually, even that will also change the synergy that he can use, but we won't be getting into that until like mid to late game, honestly. Because you also have to be a certain level to even know it in the first place. And that's really when the class system really starts to get diverse, is when you can get into that sort of stuff. So with all that stuff out of the way, I think I'm gonna heal up real quick, and I'm gonna go to the weapon store and I'll show off the stuff you can get there and probably buy some armor. Because I haven't decided if I'm gonna buy weapons or not, and if I do, I'd have to off-screen purchase everything, because on my practice file, I didn't quite have enough to buy everything, like from the weapon store. So I might do that, I haven't decided yet. I don't know. Honestly, weapons aren't the most important thing because of the aforementioned artifact system. So actually, we're gonna go ahead and start with the armor. Actually, wait, do you sell? No. Most of the time, the armor shop isn't gonna have artifacts. Like, I don't recall there being a lot of different armors that have artifact effects. Okay, so I went ahead and updated everyone's armor. It's worth noting that this is an evil trap right here. So you'll see this open helm, and you're like, hey, that's gonna be better for me in terms of stats. But actually, if you go one down, there's actually a wooden cap that's like a little more than double the price of that thing, and it's got way better stats, but it's only 1 defense higher than the open helm. Honestly, it's like a 220 coin difference for an increase in 1 defense. But if you sold that water of life like I suggested that you did, you can just get the wooden cap and be fine, but I messed up and bought an open helm on accident at first, so I wasted 180 coins. And again, I strongly suggest sticking with armor first, because honestly, the reduced defense is going to be much more useful. Anyway, we'll check out the weapon shop, just see what he's got, and he's got some neat stuff. Like, he'll still sell you the longsword if you're behind on that, but he's also got the broadsword. And the broadsword is really, really, really strong in terms of an attack increase, but it's also 1,000 coins. This is where the initial problem of the game comes from. The broadsword is a lot of money, but at the same time it has no effects on it, but its attack increase is really good, but it's really pricey. And as you noticed, grinding outside you only get like 20-30 coins per fight. And that's where part of the problem comes from, is you have to ultimately decide whether or not you want to do this. Again, it comes down to how often you use the attack. And honestly, you're probably going to want to spend more time using synergy, just because, you know, that's the primary function of attack, because if you notice, your regular attacks don't do that much. But again, it all comes down to preference. If you think you need it, then go for it. I might. I probably won't, honestly. I'll probably find out my next episode, because I totally planned this. Oh yeah, I never bought the battle axe for Eric, did I? Huh. Oh well. Anyway, point is you can do that. There's a little mace here. Basically, everything in this store is an upgrade. And does he have an artifact? Oh, right, he does. Okay, I forgot about this. You can also, this is also the first time you can buy artifacts, too. The Witch's Wand, stun voltage, actually really, really good for Roy. If you are going to spend your money on anything, I strongly recommend spending money on artifacts. Artifact weapons are always going to be better. Always. Like, see this? This will give him an attack increase to 47, and has a bonus to it, as compared to the Hunter's Sword, which has 3 less attack, and doesn't have an extra thing. Honestly, the extra 300 coins for that is more, and I spent way too much time talking about weapons. Holy crap. Didn't know I had that much to talk about for just a basic concept of RPGs. Anyway, next time on, I think we're going to end it off here. Next time on Golden Sun, maybe we'll learn more about why this tree is creepy. The music is obviously sad because there's a tree here that we can read the mind of that looks like a living person, which is kind of creepy. But yeah, next time on Golden Sun, we're probably going to explore more of this town and see if there's anything we can find here. And be sure you leave a comment. I would really like to hear what you guys have to say about, well, just anything, really. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one. Later, guys.